How's it going, everybody? Alright, so here we go, the video everyone has been demanding. I usually wait a little longer before releasing these, as it usually takes a few weeks for all the Punishes to be discovered. And they've been trickling in every other day as someone discovers a slightly stronger one. I'm also certain that even stronger ones will surface after this video releases, but that's nothing new and to be expected. Nevertheless, we will be doing the usual, simple Punishes first, then we move on to the more complicated ones, and finish up with additional tips that will help you play as well as against Centurion. So let's get straight into it then. AGB gives you a heavy, nothing new here, all sides are guaranteed, all of them do 25 damage. You can also make the decision to rather go for stamina damage with Lion's Roar. In a mode with feats active you can get 15 damage here because of Haymaker. You do a total of 65 stamina damage. That is roughly half the bar for every hero except a few outliers. Whichever you value more, damage or pressure from having an out of stamina opponent. On a heavy parry you have multiple options, a normal light for 15, the parry riposte into light which does 17 or 23 with Haymaker active, or you can also go for a straight up zone for 17. You can also opt for a kick into light, damage is less than the parry counter and it also takes more stamina to do. On a light parry you go for a fully charged heavy, don't wait too long to input it, the timing isn't that forgiving, damage is 30 and then follow-up pressure. For wall splats you absolutely want to get into the habit of throwing 2 Lion's Roars beforehand. It's extra damage in modes with feats and additional stamina damage. As I've shown you in the frame check video already, no matter the distance you will always get the full pin here for 30, that's a total of 45 damage. The other possible way to get a wall splat is from your parry counter. The newly added feature here is that the parry counter branches into the jab, so a wall splat gets you a fully charged jab which then gives you an Eagle's Talon. That's 10 damage from parry move and jab, as well as 42 from the follow-up, a total of 52 damage. When you yourself are out of stamina you can still get a heavy on a wall splat. The link from throw to heavy is so quick that neither distance nor guard direction matters. When there's no wall nearby to throw your opponent, you can get a light. Same as when you parry a light attack. Now your jabs. Nothing confirms your jabs. No pinned heavy or anything. Only teammates or after knockdowns, but we'll get to the out of stamina ones in just a second. An uncharged jab confirms a light for 15, and a fully charged one confirms Eagle's Talons for 42. If there's demand, I'll make a video on the most effective ways to deal with the jab mix-up. As I've mentioned before, nothing beats everything, but there are options that favour you in terms of possible outcome, depending on character. Now for his kick, the move itself confirms a light for 15, it does no longer confirm the zone attack, but you might be able to surprise someone for an extra 2 damage, as most players won't bother moving their guard, as no one really expects anything but the light. Now what if your kick misses? Will your opponent get a Guardbreak? No, he really shouldn't, as a whiffed kick branches into the heavy, so you can always throw a heavy after a whiffed kick, and because you have variably timed heavies, even those give you some form of safety. Even the fully charged one is still immune to GB in this scenario. It would have to be an extremely early dodge on read to catch the 100 ms of vulnerability. The reason I say it's safe to throw the heavy is because your opponent either needs to have insane reactions to parry on parry flash, or your opponent simply needs to make a read how much, or if even at all, you're going to charge your heavy. And even then, you can still soft feint to GB. This branch into heavy will also serve you well against dodge attacks. If you heavy feint, your recovery to block will be shorter than just doing nothing after a whiffed kick. This can allow you to block certain dodge attacks. This is mostly a thing against opponents that dodge your kick on reaction. People that dodge attack on prediction will still guarantee their attacks though. So as long as you have the stamina to do it, Get into the habit of heavy feinting after a kick if your opponent does a dodge attack. Now for all the out of stamina punishes, you have multiple options each time. The usual choice is between damage or follow-up pressure of continued out of stamina state. And as Cent has plenty of moves that can force dodges, you might not always want to opt for more damage. For throws, as I said before, always remember to use Lion's Roar, as that can also put an opponent out of stamina, which allows for knockdown on GBs, even if the opponent isn't out of stamina just yet. So, always 2 Lion's Roars, then throw, then kick, then fully charged heavy. That's 20 damage from Haymaker and 30 damage from the charged heavy. You go straight into your punch mix-up. The option for more damage is 2 Lion's Roar, throw, and then Eagle's Talon. That's 15 from Haymaker and 42 from the heavy, for 57 total. Difference in damage is only 7 here. Throws are pretty straightforward, but the out of stamina parries are the real pain. Let's go easy first. Simply go for an Eagle's Talons for 42. Can't really mess anything up here. Now the punish I'd advise to practice. That's light into fully charged jab into Eagle's Talon. That's a total of 62 damage. Key here is to delay the light. If you wait too long, you cause an early wake up. If you don't wait long enough, your punch won't knock down. But the timing is not hard to get right. In the same vein, we have the option to go for additional pressure. This one is light into charged heavy. Once again, delay the light and also delay the heavy a bit. The heavy can't be delayed by much, but with a little practice you can also get this one right. This allows you to go into the jab mix-up again. Guaranteed damage is 45. Sticking with the light first, you can also go into Eagle's Talons. You need to wait long enough so you don't chain into a normal combo heavy. The Eagle's Talon won't pin and is always unsafe. Total damage is 57. Same goes for the punish if you use a zone beforehand. Damage goes up by 2 to 59. Once again, remember it is unsafe. Now for the finicky punishes. Same punishes, but a heavy as the first attack. Problem here is that a normal heavy input will do on Eagle's Talons. So what you need to do is unlock during the parry, relock and have your heavy buffered. Then you have options again. Fully charged jab into Eagle's Talons is the highest damaging one with a total of 72 with Haymaker. My issue here was to get the unlock timing right. It only started working when I basically unlocked at the same time as I parried. When I unlocked later, it wouldn't throw a normal heavy. Others said they had no trouble getting it consistently, so it's up to whether you want to put in the extra effort. I'd run into the issue of unlocking too early and then eating the out of stamina attack. You can also go for the more pressure version and chain your heavy into a fully charged one, and then pin into jab mix-up. We also tried heavy into Eagle's Talons with this result. Moving on to Revenge. The knockdown seems to be longer, so we couldn't find any combination to get a charged jab. You either do a light into Eagles or zone into Eagles. Well, or straight up Eagle's Talons. The first two are unsafe, no matter how you try timing it. But usually when you have Revenge, there are multiple people around you, which means it's unsafe no matter what. Eagle's Talons has insane recovery and leaves you wide open for whatever punish your opponent has in mind. Unlike Jormungandr, whose Hammer Slam has barely any recovery and gives him a shield on top, plus the Revenge shield bug that hasn't been fixed at the time of making this video. It's not a strong move to use with multiple opponents around. It's insanely strong as a pinning tool in ganks, but other than that, it's risky as hell. You should also keep in mind that it follows similar rules. What I mean is that not every knockdown move from every hero lets you use Eagle's Talons. Notable exceptions are Shugoki's Hug, Shugoki's Demon's Ball, Shaman's Bite, and Lucia's Zone Trap. Others like Black Prize Bulwark Counter require you to do it at the correct timing. If you frequently play with a friend that uses any of the characters that require proper timing, just take a few minutes to figure it out in practice so you don't mess it up in an actual match. Moving on, the out of lock attacks are rather unspectacular. A heavy confirms a heavy. No way to confirm a charge jab. Now for something to keep in mind when fighting a Centurion, his forward dodge heavy Eagle's Fury got quite some buffs. It doesn't confirm a jab anymore, but in terms of distance and speed, it's now considerably better. It's his main chase tool, so you know that he'll most likely perform the move once you try and disengage. First of all, parrying only gives you a heavy parry punish, so try and dodge it to get a GB. Now, if you did it early enough, you're good. But if you were late on the dodge, the Centurion can just zone to stuff your GB. Another topic I've talked about a lot is frame advantage. We're not going to look at every single attack just yet, as those recoveries will very likely change. But what's probably going to stay the same is the frame advantage you get from feinting your zone. It's still your turn after the first as well as the second hit of your zone. And as a last topic I want to mention is charge jab. It's his main ganking tool and it's on his teammates to help confirm it and then increase the damage. There are multiple ways to confirm it, so it's up to you to practice this coordination and figure out which works best in the scenario you're usually facing. Third hit stun is a major component here, so don't mess it up. Toe stab is a good example here, as it's pretty much impossible to confirm the fully charged punch with it. Guardbreak is possible if you catch the person either dodging or grab the person before a counter guardbreak happens, because a counter guardbreak will stop the knockdown. Easiest way to confirm it is via block stun. Whether you choose a light or heavy is up to you. Lights obviously feel less revenge. The important part to practice here is when to hit the first heavy. You don't want to hit too early, as that will stop the knockdown. So if you confirm the punch with a light, don't use a combo heavy, but wait for a neutral heavy. If done right, this can 100 to 0 characters. Total HP, haymaker, damage reduction from feats or perks play a role here. And keep revenge in mind, so you don't get surprised by it. And that's it. Initially I thought the punishes would be simple after the rework, but turns out there's still some finesse. But let's make it short now. Let me know if there are still any questions. Join the Discord and ask away. I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.